Welcome back to GMA3. Reproductive rights are in the political spotlight after a controversial court ruling upended in vitro fertilization in Alabama.
In response, Senate Democrats are making a push today to safeguard access to IVF on a national level. And joining us now from Washington, D.C. is Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth. Good to see you, Madam Senator.
It's good to be on. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So it's been a lot of fallout since that ruling in Alabama. What's your reaction, and are you surprised?
I am not at all surprised. I've been talking about this since Justice Kavanaugh was going through his confirmation process in 2018. And I said, listen, if you start to define a fertilized egg as a person with full rights above that of the mother who would carry that fertilized egg, you're going to end up in a place where it's not just about access to abortion, it's about access to treatments like IVF or even contraceptives like intrauterine devices. So we have some real issues here in front of us because of this move towards personhood for a fertilized egg.
This is a personal issue for you because you relied on IVF to have your two daughters. What was your personal reaction when you heard about this ruling?
Well, I wasn't surprised, and that's, I was very sad for all of the families that were going through the process. I just imagine what it must be like to have been taking your injections for 2 weeks, getting ready for an IVF transfer, and then to have the clinic shut down on the eve of having that transfer and having all your hopes and dreams be crushed in that moment. Because that's what's happening to families in Alabama right now. There are all these families who are struggling, and I'm simply heartbroken for them. And it's why I'm bringing this unanimous consent movement today. I introduced this bill over a month ago, but I'm doing the unanimous consent today in order to try to get some help to all of these families that are struggling in the moment with their own IVF cycles.
Let's talk about it. You're going to be asking senators, your colleagues, again, to pass a bill to protect fertility treatments. How would it work, and how will it impact the future of IVF?
So what my bill would do is three specific things. It basically creates a statutory right for human beings to access assistive reproductive technologies, including IVF, without fear of being prosecuted for manslaughter, for example, if you discard a frozen embryo. It also establishes the ability for doctors to provide this reproductive treatment without being afraid of being sued for manslaughter or murder if they have to dispose of a fertilized egg in the process of providing the treatment. And it also establishes the right for health insurance companies to cover the procedure. So it doesn't actually say you must do it, but it says if you want to provide it, if you need it, and if you want to cover it, you can do it without fear of being prosecuted in whatever state you are in this nation.
You've been working to get traction on this bill for years now. Now that there's been all of this fallout around the Alabama ruling, are you anticipating that you're going to be able to get any Republican support for this?
I doubt that I'll get Republican support for this because I've been working on this, as you said, for years now, and I have not been able to get a Republican co-sponsor. I've also been, hearing my Republican colleagues who are supportive of these personhood bills that characterizes a fertilized egg as a human being, also said that they support IVF. And so today will be a test. I'm going to go to the floor and ask for unanimous consent, which means that if nobody stands up and objects, then the law passes the Senate and goes over to the House. We'll see how many Republicans actually show up to oppose it. I think there will be some, which is really unfortunate because we could actually pass this bill out of the Senate today.
And you said yesterday that if lawmakers don't act now, things will only get worse. What did you mean by that?
Well, in Florida, there is a law that is pending a vote right now that would provide for penalties for the destruction of frozen embryos because they want to call a fertilized egg a human being. And so there's a wrongful death of frozen embryos bill in Florida right now. Louisiana already has a bill that prohibits the discarding of frozen embryos or fertilized eggs. In my case, when I had my first daughter, Abigail, we created 5 fertilized eggs, 3 of which were non-viable, so that if we had implanted one of those non-viable eggs in me, it would have caused a miscarriage. And there's movements. Texas Right to Life says every frozen egg, fertilized egg that's frozen must be implanted regardless of whether or not it would cause a miscarriage. And so this is where it's happening. This is the movement all across the country, which is why it's so urgent that we pass my bill today to protect Americans' access to assistive reproductive technologies.
All right, Senator Tammy Duckworth, thank you very much. We appreciate it and good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.